means everyone can have a stylish home.
Oh, wow!
It doesn't have to cost a fortune.
This is like maximalist overload.
Anyone can turn boring into beautiful.
Wow.
Using paint to create the wow factor
Oh my God.
and decoration to completely transform your rooms. I know, I'm Sophie Robinson. As an interior designer, I have been in thousands of homes and they all have the potential to be stylish. In this programme, we make amazing transformations
Never had so many men in the house.
and we give you the ideas,
Look how this shifts the mural.
tips and tricks,
This is where you find out the power of paint.
do's and don'ts,
It's very comfy, but Martin, it is extremely ugly.
inspirations
Oh my God! Ah! Wow!
and encouragement
Scream if you want to go faster, that looks great!
to give your home its very own style and personality.
Oh my gosh, it's so exotic.
Welcome to Dream Home Makeovers.
It's just dazzling.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm home to stay.
This time, contemporary Scandinavian style for an ancient farmhouse,
Do you feel a bit of pressure to honour the heritage of the house?
Whatever design we do throughout the house is sort of a mixture of our personalities, but then also the aesthetic of the house.
loving the bright colours of India, and Victorian period features,
It's lovely. Oh my Lord.
and everything you need to know about posh wallpaper, the secrets of neutral colours, and how textures bring a room alive. Retired accounts manager Jane and sales manager Colin have spent the last 5 years sailing and travelling around the world, where India was Jane's favourite stop.
India's a fabulous country. It really is fabulous. I love it.
But they have recently become grandparents and decided to sell the yacht and put down roots in Selby, Yorkshire, to be near Colin's daughter Karen and grandson Franklin. They moved into this 5-bed Victorian terrace a few months ago that cost £500,000. It has space for all the family and I can hear it crying out for some style and personality. They can too and are putting £15,000 of their own money towards transforming it.
It's livable, and I think that's really about it.
It's a blank canvas.
Oh, I love a blank canvas. So what are this couple's tastes and ideas? Jane is inspired by their travels abroad.
I've always liked bright colours. I am very interested in Indian colours.
Oh, I love bright colours too. But Colin's more traditional and he loves period features.
Mine would have always been sticking to the basics of a Victorian theme, Victorian lighting, Victorian radiators, Victorian wallpaper.
But we're not going to, are we?
It'll be interesting.
It's good they're laughing. I'm here to avoid war breaking out between Indian colour and English tradition. Wish me luck.
Hello! Lovely to meet you. Oh, it's fabulous to meet you too. What are the headline problems with this room?
Colour.
Right, okay, so yeah, it's looking very beige, I
Yeah,
have to say.
it is very beige, so it's just a good palette to start with, isn't
So
it?
room by
really?
room, ban the beige.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like, that's where we need to
that's
start.
definitely.
It's not just beige we need to ban. Jane's been online auction shopping and downstairs is full of her bargains.
I think I'm quite spontaneous and I have made a few mistakes, I must admit, since we've been here. I sort of see something, buy it, and it doesn't fit.
Buying furniture without measuring it first is a mistake I see time and time again.
These sofas, gorgeous and comfortable though they are, aren't quite the right scale. I feel that this room's getting quite choked up in here, so we might completely rethink it.
Okay. The only furniture that's in those rooms that I really adore are the sofas.
I think those sofas might become a sticking point. But onwards and upwards. After 6 months, they've barely moved into the master bedroom, which they also want my help with.
bedroom.
Oh, another beautiful room. Pair of windows, the high ceilings. It's the dream, isn't it?
It might be the dream, but there's definitely a theme.
It's just very beige.
I think this one, I'm more open to more colour in here.
Yeah, and anything goes in here.
Dangerous, kind of.
Okay. Okay, risky.
So, risky, yeah, I could see myself probably living with that in here.
I'll see you very soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
lovely
lovely.
to
Many
meet you.
thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye now. So the real challenge with Colin and Jane is you've got Colin, who is really passionate about Victorian period design. So for me, that's these really sort of classic William Morris prints, and it's quite a dark, quite an inky colour palette. And then you've got Jane, who is really passionate about this kind of Indian colour palette. Those are really deep, saturated, bright colours like saffron yellow. We've got like turmeric orange. So how am I going to marry up two very different tastes?
Just across the Pennines near Bolton is a 16th century farmhouse, the forever home of youth fashion merchandiser Danielle and operations manager Jack. This newly engaged couple are only in their 20s, but after flipping 2 properties, they are able to buy this £400,000 4-bedroom home.
It's really unique. It's on a dairy farm and we love the countryside.
Yeah.
So as soon as we saw this house, I knew that I wanted to live here. I had to persuade Danielle because she weren't sure at first if she wanted to live on a farm. But as soon as she saw it, she loved it as well.
Yeah, I did.
Since moving in 10 months ago, they've been refurbishing and have decorated 1 bedroom and the bathroom so far. But when it comes to their larger living room, they just don't know what to do.
It's a room that we've never used, we've never spent any time in there in
Yeah,
kind of 8 months.
I think I definitely want the farmhouse influence in there, but I just definitely want to have that youthfulness about it. We're under 30, so we just want to make sure that like it's still got a bit of our personalities in there and it's not going to be like your classic, if you Pinterest farmhouse. We quite like the Scandi vibe, don't we?
Yeah, quite.
So if we could like, if we could merge the two, that would be our sort of perfect scenario.
They have £5,000 to put towards transforming this room and have asked for my help to find a style that suits their character and the rooms. But here's a twist. Danielle is not actually sure I'm the right person for the job.
So when I was looking at Sophie's Instagram, I was taken aback by like how bold it was and creative, and there's so many patterns and prints and just loads of different colours, but it's not directly our taste.
Yeah.
Duly noted, Danielle. Looks like I have my work cut out with this one. I've come to this 16th century farmhouse near Bolton to see if I can help Jack and Danielle find the dream style for their beautiful forever home.
Hi Sophie,
Hey!
good to see you.
Oh my goodness, what a gorgeous room.
Well, yeah.
We're at that point where we're not sure what to do next.
Yes.
And what ideas we've got.
I totally understand how difficult it can be to add your personality to a room with so much character of its own.
Do you feel a bit of pressure to honour the heritage of the house?
100%.
And for that to be part of the design?
Yeah, and it's a farmhouse, and you know, we want to make sure that whatever design we do throughout the house is sort of a mixture of our personalities, but then also the aesthetic of the house. Like, it's such a unique building, isn't it?
Yeah, and the wooden beams throughout the house are 500 years old, so I want to make sure we can get the best out of them and
So
get the
that we
design
won't be
around them.
wallpapering over the beams then?
No.
I know Danielle was worried about my love of bold interiors, but I've got a style in mind that I think will bring out the room's character and give it the youthful, trendy vibe they are after. And get this, it's got no colour. But will they like it? That's the question.
So, this is our first little mood board idea, which is very neutral.
Yes.
Were you expecting that from me?
No. Absolutely not.
Taking inspiration from the materials that are in the room, the bare brick, the wood, all those sort of lovely natural textures, and celebrating them. Quite rustic fabrics and materials that have lots of texture, lots of depth, that are also sympathetic. Again, it's creating something that feels quite organic and fluid and not stiff and stilted.
I've never seen that before, but it sounds really good.
Yeah. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye. So this presents itself the ultimate challenge to me, because with the neutrals, it's all about the subtleties, the nuance, the undertone. And from what I can see is there are 2 different ways that we could tackle this. We could go for quite a cool neutral scheme or a warmer tone. So you can see all of these are neutrals, but when you add cooler shades of grey or blue or green to them, they feel quite cool, as opposed to the warmer shades that have kind of red and yellow undertones. So I know Danielle and Jack want this very sophisticated, cool, chic farmhouse look, so the cooler palette might work for that. Or they could move towards a warmer colour palette, which would create a much more cosy feel. So ultimately, that's the question: how do they want the space to feel?
Adding textures is a vital staple in the interior designer's toolkit to make an all-neutral scheme sing. Otherwise, it can feel flat. It's all about contrast of rough and smooth. My favourite textures to play with are natural materials with rough and raw textures, like the rustic wood table in this hallway against the tiled floor. Glass and concrete come with a super gloss surface that plays beautifully with the light, like this kitchen worktop and floor. And fabrics give such varied textures to play with, adding depth and interest. Look how beautifully all the textiles play together. Over in Yorkshire, retired sales manager Colin and former accounts manager Jane want me to help them combine Jane's love of India and saturated colours with Colin's love of traditional Victorian features for their new family home.
The look we are going for is Victoriana meets India. And the way I'm seeing this work is by discovering this fabulous collection of wallpapers. These are original William Morris wallpapers and fabrics, but recoloured in these rather electric colours. So I'm hoping that Colin and Jane are up for this pattern on all walls in their living room and dining room, but we're not going to stop there. We are going to add layers of these kind of like Hillam printed velvets, which again is very classic Victorian, but check out the colours. We're going for these really delicious, vibrant cobalt blues, which also pick out in the wallpaper. And then, this is the really cheeky one, but I am loving it, this really vibrant electric yellow, and I'm thinking that that could go around all the architraves, pick out maybe the window seat, even possibly on the fireplace. So you've got these really rich kind of like aquas and cobalt blues, and then this electric yellow slicing through. So it's kind of like Victoriana punked up with colour. Now in the bedroom, still going to have a beautiful colour palette, but I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit on this one. So rather than those very saturated brights that we've got going on in the living room, this is a softer colour palette because Colin and Jane are going to want a more relaxed vibe in the bedroom. But check out this fabric. Isn't this gorgeous? This has got this kind of like bird of paradise print on it. It's really exotic and it will look amazing with lots of other patterns. I'm thinking on footstools, on curtains, on the furnishings. So it can be a real riot. And then we'll go plain with paint and really beautiful subtle colours. I'm thinking like a warm pink or a coral on the walls, and then pick out those gorgeous period features with a really nice gentle china blue. And then perhaps just for a little drama, we can pick out some of the joinery in this beautiful rich blue.
With such different tastes, I want to run this design past the couple.
So, when it comes to the colour scheme, woohoo, what about the William Morris print, which has been updated with this much more saturated colour palette? So indicative, isn't it, of India, these sort of saturated colours.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
Love that.
Emerald.
Yeah.
But then blending it with the more
love it.
traditional Victorian elements.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Victorian goes punk.
Do you like that, Colin?
I do, yeah. I think the colour contrasts are amazing in that.
There's also what I think quite an exciting opportunity to do a little window seat.
Yeah, I've just
Here.
spotted that. That is really good.
Now for the bedroom. I want to give this unloved space a splash of elegance.
We've gone towards a much warmer colour palette, so moving away from the sort of cool blues and greens and ramping up the temperature. It's a little bit softer. It hasn't got the high energy yellow in, because I think this is a room typically where one wants to feel a bit more relaxed. I think the energy and the warmth of India, so it's still within, you know, this sort of colour palette.
That is
So
lovely,
looking
Colin.
It just makes me smile because I think if I came up with a colourway like this, Jane would probably tell me no.
I probably would. I'd say, come on, Colin.
We have a plan and work soon gets underway, with Colin prepping and the painting starting. The seat is being made for the space under the window in the living room. For the price of some timber and a day for our joiner, it'll reinvent this dead space. Meanwhile, retired accounts manager Jane is happier on a computer shopping than on her knees painting.
See, concentration, that's what I like. And you know, I don't really like doing it.
Retired sales manager Colin has renovated a couple of properties for profit. A DIYer, he's hanging the lining paper that goes under the posh wallpaper.
If he knows that I've done this, he won't like it. He's quite a perfectionist, really, I think. Oh, I've done it again.
But as more colours start going on, they start getting pre-matched nerves.
Oh, I did have a nightmare last night. Yeah, I did. I dreamed that the colour scheme had all changed and it was going to be rainbows, which did wake me up. But I realised that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, so I must have been worried, mustn't I?
I need to get there before there are any U-turns from my daring design.
Oh, yes, look at this.
I know.
Look at you at the step ladder. So you're doing the lining paper?
That's, yeah.
I mean, you've got the most to die for period features in this room. I mean, look at that cornicing popping out in that cobalt blue. You know, already picking out the ceiling rose. Mm-hmm. It's already just elevating the beauty of this room, isn't it? How are you feeling about these colours?
I'm loving it. You're loving it, aren't you?
I'm really loving it.
No, I am adoring it. And when the wallpaper goes up, everything will just be blended in and it'll be lovely.
For the bedroom, I've toned down the Indian-inspired colours a bit with softer blues, corals and pinks.
Oh, yes, another beautiful bit of cornicing.
I love the shade of blue. I think it's sort of a bit Wedgwoody. And we've also done the ceiling, but it's quite subtle, the pink.
Quite a light, soft pink. The
Yeah.
blue's a bit more knocked back than, you know, we've got less pigment going on than downstairs. We've got those very punchy, saturated brights. This is a bit more dusty.
Yeah.
And I can't let reluctant painter Jane's contribution go unnoticed.
For first attempt, Jane,
Not doing
I'm
this
going to
one.
say thank goodness for masking tape,
Yes.
is what I'm going to say.
The most luxury item in the design is the handmade William Morris wallpaper. And I want Jane and Colin to see why it's so special at the William Morris factory. William Morris was a leader of the Victorian arts and crafts movement and one of Britain's greatest designers. You can see his original wallpapers and other designs in National Trust properties and museums across the UK. The pattern we've chosen is called Bachelor's Button, which has recently been updated with modern saturated colours, blending Colin's love of all things Victorian and Jane's love of bold colour.
Bachelor's Button design was designed in 1892 by William Morris. It's only 3 colours, so there's a lot going on. And William Morris would always call his designs by the smallest element. So the fact that he's got these very beautiful big acanthus sleeves, you'd think it might be called acanthus, but it's not. It's called Bachelor's Button, which is these little button-like flowers. Yeah, so...
Yeah, wow. I like that.
Yeah.
He was also a master of repeat, so incredible repeat skills, which you never really see. And I don't know whether it's ever really been replicated as well as the way he did it. And so that sort of beautiful undulating leaf form, the symmetry of the pattern as well.
The machines making the wallpaper are over 100 years old and they're still being handmade by artisans.
I feel spoiled.
Yeah. Definitely.
Privileged.
Yeah. Enlightened.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
The
some of
craftsmen do blow you away.
Yeah.
And it's going in our house.
I'm in love with William Morris designs, and his design ethos chimes with today's values of craftsmanship and sustainability. His papers were intended to cover the whole room, and today it's super fashionable to wallpaper all the walls in a room. The result is really immersive, like in this traditional dining room. William Morris designs start from £60 per roll, so costs can quickly add up when you need over 10 rolls for an average-sized room. But do not despair. Modern digital printing has made the choice of papers and patterns for every budget possible. You can find William Morris-inspired wallpapers for £30 to £40 a roll on the high street and online. And if your budget is more £10 to £15 a roll, you can get the look for less at DIY and decorating outlets. Over the Pennines in their dream 16th century farmhouse, a month after I met them, fashion merchandiser Danielle and operations manager Jack are changing gear from renovations to decoration.
The best solution for Daniel and Jack is going to be this warmer neutral colour palette. This is going to complement their beautiful stone floor that they're laying, but also those gorgeous, original, ancient timber beams that have got a bit of warmth in the background. But one of the main reasons why neutral schemes often just feel a bit bland and boring is because there isn't enough texture, because there's no colour, there's no pattern, so you've got to really ramp up the texture to keep a neutral scheme looking interesting. So I'm thinking something like this lovely kind of linen voile at the window to softly diffuse the light. And then how about something like this gorgeous, lush velvet on the sofa, maybe contrasted with a woolen boucle on an armchair or something. And then it's all about bringing in the rougher, more rustic textures. And then finally, for a little bit of contrast, a nice gold metallic.
As ever, getting the preparation right is vital, so I'm briefing my team.
We need the prep to be perfect because you're going to really see the texture and you're going to see these lovely curves. And we don't want to iron out the kind of like organic idiosyncrasies, but at the same time, you want to get it to a level where it looks good.
Once a room's a blank canvas, I always like to stand back for a moment before going ahead with all paints blazing.
Standing in this room now, it's all covered in brilliant white. You can see that white is a really harsh. So I think the idea is this is going to be soft, it's going to be warm, so it's really important that that colour wraps all the way around and kind of cocoons you.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to picking neutral paint colours than many people realise. For a crash course in neutrals, I'm sending Danielle and Jack, who work in fashion and beauty, to Manchester to visit Little Green, who've been making paints for nearly 30 years. They have 36 shades of white on their colour charts and 28 different greys. Jack and Danielle are meeting the owners, starting with daughter Ruth. She's recommending stone colours.
You know, they are taken from stones that you'd find on the beach, for example. So we know that they're going to work really well in natural environments with natural materials. For your room, I was looking more at these colours here, the Portland stone. They have a little bit of brown in them and a little bit of green in them. Green works really well because it's not too cool and it's not too warm.
Ruth's dad, company founder David Mottershead, shows them how neutrals are in fact packed with colour. They can have 4 or 5 pigments, each one affects the others.
And that's raw umber. How would you describe that colour, do you think?
I'd say that's more khaki.
Don't need much, look, it's just the very tiniest amount. Now you look what happens here. Now that's made a grey, and that's just produced using white and this very simple pigment. We can play tunes with these different pigments to get all sorts of different neutrals.
So, Portland stone it is. All that has to happen now is a mechanical shakedown. Designer paint brands have a beautifully curated palette of neutral colours that you can have confidence in. But if you don't want to spend over £20 per litre, the DIY outlets have a good selection for a fraction of the price. People always ask me whether posh designer paints are worth the money. Well, they contain more complex pigments, which creates more subtle undertones. And with neutrals, it's especially all about these undertones and how they play with the natural light. And you get what you pay for. Cheaper paint's often thinner, which means you need more coats and more paint, so this can eat into any savings. My top advice is to read reviews, especially for a paint's coverage, or ask a professional decorator for their recommendations, as not all budget paint brands are equal. Always buy a tester pot, paint a large swatch, and look at it alongside the other colours you're using. Because neutral colours have subtle undertones, they are especially affected by the room decor and the natural light, which can make your walls look very different than expected. At the contemporary farmhouse makeover near Bolton, Jack and Danielle's first coat of Portland stone has gone on the walls and the room is feeling warmer already. They're painting everything from the ceiling to the radiators to unify this irregular space. But when everything is going so well, the couple go totally rogue on me.
So the original design had a two-seater sofa, and we felt that the two-seater sofa wasn't big enough, so it was our decision to change that for something a lot bigger and a lot more comfier. So I'm a bit nervous to make sure that we've made the right decision, because it is quite a large kind of sofa, and it might take over the room.
A bit large, that's an understatement.
It's really big. It's like 10 people, but it's just dead deep and squishy. It's green, so it sounds a bit out there.
You turn your back for 1 minute and Danielle and Jack go and order a £2,000 10-seater sofa. I need to get back and face this insurrection.
Lovely big green couch.
Yes.
Is it like a 10-seater?
Yes.
Let's
A
just
big
rewind.
old couch.
Yeah, let's just rewind a bit, because
I hope
that,
it fits.
that was never discussed, was it?
No. One of your main things, wasn't it, that you wanted a big corner sofa?
Danielle and Jack have gone out and bought a 10-seater sofa. It's gonna fill that room. It's gonna look like a big block. And what's more, it's in green. We never talked about green. This was my opportunity to do an all-neutral scheme. We've got a word for this in the industry. We call it being shopped. It is their money, it is their home. I am gonna get down off my soapbox at some point. But right now, I'm feeling a bit cross.
Sofas are a big investment. My top buying tips are: make sure it fits. Measure it in the shop or get dimensions online and then mark it out on your floor using masking tape. Make sure there's space to move around your coffee table and have clear access to doorways. Next, choose a shape that suits your other furniture. Scrolled arms look traditional, square shapes modern. Foam seats are sleek and sharp, feather cushions comfy and relaxed. Next, how are you using it? Upright sofas are better for sitting up and chatting or reading. Deeper, softer seats for slouching in front of the TV. On price, a quality sofa will last longer, but look out for discounts in the sales or consider a good quality second-hand sofa. My top advice is try before you buy. Many online retailers offer free returns, so never buy a sofa that's uncomfortable or doesn't fit. Over in Selby, where I'm trying to combine Victorian period with Indian colour, there's major progress in the master bedroom. Retired new grandparents Jane and Colin have a separate dressing room in their new 5-bed family home, so I'm filling their alcove space with bookshelves, painted in a darker tone to make the book spines stand out. For the ultimate showstopper, I've got a luxury canopy being made to go over the bed using a simple wooden shelf and curtain track, and a pelmet made out of our signature fabric.
That so matches everything, doesn't it?
It's all starting to look like Selby's very own Maharaja's Palace. Downstairs, the William Morris paper is ready to go up. At £85 per roll, there is no room for mistakes, so DIYer Colin is letting the professionals do it.
What's great about pattern, I think, is it's the master of disguise.
Yeah.
And if you do have a house with awkward angles, pattern is brilliant at camouflaging.
A wallpaper of this quality, once installed, could last for 100 years.
So how does it feel seeing your paper go up?
It's looking amazing.
Yes, the colours are glorious, but lighting is key to really making the room sing. A centrepiece over the dining table is an interesting focal point, but it's essential to get the height right.
So we're offering that up for height.
I don't know whether it just needs to be a speck higher.
I agree. A couple of inches high, please, Tim. So the idea with that is you've got it nice and low over the table, not too high, so you really see it in the space. I think it'll be really nice when you're standing through here. In terms of rules, I think that when you're sitting opposite someone, it's not distracting your view. And you've still got a little bit of height to, I don't know, have a vase of flowers on the table or whatever.
The light fitting with shades costs £650, but choosing the wrong light bulbs can spoil everything.
Blinding, aren't they? You need to make sure when you're buying energy-saving bulbs that you go for ones that have a warm light, not a blue light. We can get those switched over really easily.
In my experience of bringing bold colours to homes, at some point people often lose their nerve. Colin and Jane are no exception and want to talk to me about the lovely bright yellow I've picked out.
We've been talking about the fireplace.
Yes, so plan is to paint this in with the yellow.
I know.
And we're kind of like a bit anti-yellow at present.
Yellow, another yellow wobble. Even though, you know, this is a perfectly lovely quality fireplace, it's very modern looking. And I think when we start bringing in all your lovely antique furniture and the vintage pieces, it's just going to really jar. So we're up for painting it, yes?
Yes, we
are. The question is, what colour? Colin and Jane are having a real wobble over whether to paint their fireplace yellow, but paint is only paint, it's really simple to change, so my advice is to go for it, and if you don't like it, it's no big deal to change it.
A few hours later, the cushions arrive for the new window seat. It's a perfect opportunity to give them a sneak preview and convert them back to yellow.
Oh, wicked, Colin. It's lovely. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, I love the way the blue blind is like breaking up the yellow a bit.
Yeah. This is lovely.
Go on, I think you should have a seat. Come on.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't know who to kiss.
Moment of truth. Fireplace has been primed up. It's ready to go a colour. Drum roll.
Yellow, yellow,
Yellow.
yellow.
Yes!
Yeah, we're going to go yellow.
Yeah.
And if it all goes wrong, it's only paint.
Excellent. Job done. Over at the 16th century contemporary farmhouse Makeover near Bolton, new flooring is a major part of the look. This is Jack and Danielle's project, which they've chosen and laid themselves, and they can't wait to show me.
Oh, Jack! This is amazing!
I'm so impressed, I've almost forgiven that green sofa incident.
Oh, look at this. With this colour. I love it. Look, already we've got the texture, we've got the detail. It's like really rugged, bringing this whole farmhouse look to life. And I love the kind of like green undertone.
Yeah.
Very clever, matching really lovely with the wall colour.
Stone floors can be a noisy nightmare as they amplify sounds in big rooms. That's where rugs come in. They're great for absorbing sound.
So we want to add some softness now to this beautiful, although quite hard, cold floor. So let's spin that one out that way. Yeah. This one is a polypropylene rug, but it's made to look like a wool rug.
Yeah.
What it means is it's a lot more affordable. Yeah. And so pulling in these textures, getting these textiles down on the floor, not only makes it feel warmer and cosier, it creates a nicer kind of like acoustic.
Rugs can be expensive, but man-made fibre polypropylene rugs are an affordable option. They cost a fraction of the Moroccan Berbers they are meant to look like, around £100 for a medium size, and offer great texture.
That's the general idea, the texture, the layering, the warmth, the homeliness, the coziness.
Yeah. It already feels a lot less echoey in here than it
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Layering rugs like this is a popular design hack and great for creating an informal, relaxed look in rooms that could do with cozying up. But how are they going to look against their new monster-sized sofa?
I don't think I've ever seen such a big sofa.
I mean, it looks so comfortable.
Oh man, come on you two, you've got to jump on it and try it out.
I'm going. Oh my God. I feel swallowed up by it.
I don't feel very elegant. But I grant you, it is very, it's too comfy.
I know.
Come on, we can't stop, there's so much to do.
In Yorkshire, ex-sales manager Colin and ex-accounts manager Jane have given up a globe-trotting retirement to put down roots near family and their new grandson, buying a big family home. I'm trying to blend Colin's love of Victorian period style and Jane's passion for bright Indian colours to create their own unique home style. I've been dressing the bedroom and it's ready to reveal to them.
Welcome to your boudoir.
Wow.
The master bedroom, once a beige and boring room, is now an explosion of gorgeous pattern and colour. The Anglo-Indian inspired centrepiece, the canopy bed, brings an air of grandeur to the room.
But look, step back and admire
I know.
your fitted bookcases.
I know. I'm loving the I'm loving the books. Yeah, it looks good.
Well, you've got loads of storage in there. You've even got space for more books, but I also wanted to break it up a bit with a few kind of vases and plants and flowers, cupboards.
It looks lovely. It really does. In the glow of that lamp as well, it looks absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
I'm delighted.
Do you like the colours?
I like the colours, yeah.
I like that. I love that fabric. That is
transformation,
so
isn't it? It just-
amazing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful. It's palatial. It's quite
Yeah,
palatial,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Really? Yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
No, it's amazing how you can just forget what it was like. And it's,
Yeah.
I find it really, really hard to picture.
This room now has a vibe of opulence running through it, with bold colour and pattern bringing this space to life.
I love mixing lots of different patterns in my schemes. I think they make them feel rich and interesting. So how do you make it all hang together? Well, first of all, I start with what I call a hero fabric, which is definitely this one. And this has got all the colours within it that you can then spiral out around the room. And literally there is no limit to how many patterns you can clash together. We've got a different pattern on the curtains, on the screen, on the footstool, on the cushions, even on the lampshade. But because they are all joined by this tight palette of colour, they all harmonise beautifully.
OK, we know I'm a colour genius, but what about downstairs, which Colin and Jane have been dressing with finishing touches to reveal to me? Before, once beige with mismatched furniture, it didn't remotely reflect Jane and Colin's personalities. Now it's alive with rich Indian-inspired colours, and to please Colin, they've also been cleverly used to highlight those gorgeous period features throughout the room. Swapping the two rooms has made better use of the space, the narrow end now a cosy snug area to watch telly. And the dead space under the window has also been given new purpose. It's now a stylish window seat, as well as extra storage.
And now everything's in its place, Colin. What are we thinking of the yellow?
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
It works.
Yeah,
It doesn't dominate anymore,
no,
does
it?
it?
No.
It's gone back to being that little highlight that we were after.
Yeah.
And
It
all the
pops.
other elements have kind of kicked it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not very normal to have a bright yellow fireplace, and indeed the doors and the architraves and all the way around the room. But for me, I just think it gives this room some humour, it gives it some energy, and that's kind of the essence of India, isn't it? Slightly putting these crazy colour combinations together. So I love the way that this space now connects so well with this space.
I know. It's looking lush, isn't it?
I just love this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
I
How
know.
did this come together? Isn't it?
Yeah, that is inspired.
Yeah.
Definitely inspired. Love it.
Love it.
But there's still one elephant in the room.
The sofa.
I know.
So I felt really strongly from the get-go that this was completely the wrong piece of furniture for this room, okay?
I know.
Wrong style, wrong size, but you held onto it tightly
I did.
and wouldn't compromise. Are you happy with this? Do you think
I
it
am
works?
very happy with it. I do think it works. I think it's a lovely colour and I think it blends in.
Time for me to eat humble pie, isn't it? Because I totally agree with you. I think it looks brilliant. It just doesn't feel so big and overbearing.
I think with the Chesterfield, I know it's a little bit old hat, but to me it looks like a gentleman's kind of old-fashioned Victorian room, and I think the natural leather tan went with the age and the richness of the paper.
Colin and Jane have blended perfectly both Victorian and Indian themes to create a cosy yet exciting downstairs living area. I think together we've nailed it in this room. They now have the perfect Anglo-Indian look that reflects both their strong personalities and passions. This room is totally them and I love it.
The living and dining room area is spectacular.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. The colours, I love it. It's a dream that we've always wanted, is to get these rooms done, and this is really giving us a springboard with colour and things like
Yeah,
that.
it's inspiration, Colin, isn't it?
It is.
The success of this project is all down to Colin and Jane, who have completely run with it. They've even pulled their sleeves up and got stuck in. And look, yeah, there's been a few wobbles and not sure, but they've always kept that vision at the forefront of their mind. They've really gone for it with gumption. And the result is the home looks fabulous.
Back in the Pennines, the finishing touches are being added to the farmhouse living room, where operations manager Jack and fashion merchandiser Danielle want a cosy contemporary style that suits a 500-year-old house. With a neutral colour scheme like theirs, the accessories are really key to creating an interesting and rich look without a drop of colour.
Stand back and admire. Are we happy with how it's all looking?
I think it looks
Really
amazing.
good. Yeah, such a difference.
No longer is the living room a corridor for the couples to pass like ships in the night. Now it's a warm and cosy place to entertain friends. The neutral palette picks up on the beautiful ancient materials like the stone, while all the different textures add layers of interest that excite your eye. And it may be the biggest sofa I've ever seen, but it does shout comfort and welcome. And I'm sure their friends will be enjoying diving into it very soon.
There's not a lot of colour in here.
Yeah.
And yet it feels really rich and layered and cosy and interesting, doesn't
Yeah, it does, definitely.
It really does feel cosy. I absolutely love the whole room. I don't think we could have done anything like this on our own.
No,
not even
definitely not.
not even
No.
a glimmer of this. The paint wrapping is definitely something that we would have never have done before, that we will probably use again. We've just never thought to paint the skirts, radiators, walls, ceilings all one colour.
And the prep work that goes into it to get that good finish.
I think it's been a whole group effort, but your passion and your drive is really shown through for this. You're quite a phenomenal couple. You're quite a kind of like dream team, should we say? Yeah.
Jack and Danielle have managed to marry Scandi minimal with farmhouse chic, creating the perfect space for entertaining friends and family, but also cosy nights in, just the two of them.
It looks gorgeous. It's just all come together. We could never have done this without Sophie's help, could we?
No. Can't wait to get in it and relax and just chill.
And enjoy the space, yeah.
I absolutely love that room, and do you know what? It's finally doing justice to this beautiful 16th century farmhouse, really celebrating all those lovely wobbly curves, and yet at the same time thrust it into the 21st century, which is the perfect home for this really dynamic couple.